Hello, and now we're gonna talk about the sales cycle transactions in which I'm gonna sell the goods to the customers and I will receive money later. I'll receive cash later. Okay, so we have this question. Journalizing sales transactions. Journalize the following sales transactions for Paul Sportswear. Explanations are not required. Okay. On August 1st, Paul sold $66,000 of women's sportswear on account. Credit terms are 2% within 10 days and 30. Cost of goods is $33,000. Okay. So now, in chapter 5, we are talking about merchandising operations. يعني merchandising company. يعني I'm gonna purchase ready for sale product, then I'm gonna sell it to the customer at a higher price. Okay, so أنا عم ببيع. I'm not providing services anymore. So when we read sold goods, it means it's a revenue. It's a sales revenue, okay? And revenues will always be in the credit side because they increase your equity, okay? Now, so we figured out the first account from sold. Sold يعني revenue, يعني sales revenue بالcredit side. Now, did I receive money when I sold the goods or I will receive my money later? So here he said it's on account. On account لنا either accounts payable or accounts receivable. If I sold goods, I will receive money. If I bought goods, I will pay money. So in this case, it is accounts receivable. Okay. So he said credit terms. Credit terms are 2 within 10 days. يعني 2% within 10 days. Now, who's going to get the discount in this case? Me or the customer? The customer. Because I will receive money from the customer. So the customer will get the discount. If he paid within 10 days, okay, he will get 2% discount and he has a total of 30 days to pay. Now, cost of goods is $33,000. Okay. Now, when we sell, I need to record 2 entries. لازم دايما لما نسمع كلمة sold لازم نسجل 2 entries. واحدة للselling price، واحدة للcost of goods sold. يعني واحدة لسعر البيع وواحدة للتكلفة. Okay. Now, what did I sell? I sell goods. Goods in accounting, we call them inventory. So inventory, it's an asset. I sold it. So it's going to go down in the credit side. Now he told you what's the third account here. It's cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold, it's an expense account. It decreases your equity. Okay. So on account, it's accounts receivable. يعني I will receive my money later. It's an asset. It will go up on the debit side. I sold goods, so it's a revenue to me. So revenues increase equity in the credit side. And the selling price is $66,000. Now the second entry will be cost of goods sold, $33,000, because this account decreases your equity. That's why it should be in the debit side. And I sold goods. So inventory will decrease in the credit side. So inventory, it's an asset account. It decreases in the credit side. Okay. Now, let's see the second transaction. Paul received a $5,000 sales return on damaged goods from the customer. يعني the customer returned the goods to me. Cost of goods damaged is $2,500. Okay, so it's a sales return. It's not an allowance. And the allowance in the sales allowance, you don't receive the inventory back. ما بنستلم الانفنتوري. So in the sales return, لما دايما يصير عندي sales return, I switch the sales transaction. So I recorded 2 entries. I need to switch both of them. I need to decrease the revenues and I need to increase the inventory because I received back my inventory. Okay, بس لما يحكي لي sales allowance معناته I need to switch only the first entry. The second one, you're not gonna switch it because you're not gonna receive your inventory back. Like it's broken, you don't need it. You can't fix it. okay? So it's just an allowance. So you're gonna switch only the first entry لما يكون sales allowance. بس لما يكون sales return I need to switch these two, okay? So as you can see in this transaction, it's a sales return, okay? So you received not money, you received sales return. And you received the goods from the customer, okay? So I need to switch to the first entry. So accounts receivable, I need to decrease it. So it's gonna go to the credit side because it's an asset. Assets decrease in the credit side. Now, sales revenue, I cannot debit sales revenue because I'm not closing here. Only in the closing entries, we close revenues on the debit side. So it's a sales return. So we have an account called sales return and allowance, okay? It's a contra revenue account. It has a debit nature. يعني دايما بنحطه debit side, okay? So this is for the first entry. Now the second one, cost of goods sold to inventory, I need to switch it because I received my inventory back. So inventory will go up. It's an asset account, will go up on the debit side. Cost of goods sold, it's decreasing your equity. So now you need to increase your equity. It's going to go to the credit side, okay? Now, if it's a sales allowance, not sales return, you're going to write only the first entry. اللي هي sales returns and allowance to accounts receivable. The second one will not be written because you will not receive your inventory back. Okay? Yeah. Let's go to the last transaction. On August 10, Paul receives payment from the customer on the amount due less the return and discount. Okay. In August 10, Paul, who's the seller, received the amount due from the customer. So what shall I do in this case? Okay, I received my money, so cash will go up. What did I receive? I received what? I received what was on account. I received cash and I need to decrease accounts receivable. Okay, so first you need to know the balance of the accounts receivable. So we need to draw a T account for the accounts receivable. So now, as you can see, I created a T account for the accounts receivable. Now I need to post the entries. In the first entry, I debited accounts receivable with 66,000. So on the debit side, you need to write 66,000. Now in the return, you decrease the accounts receivable. So you credited this account with 5,000. So I need to decrease it with 5,000. So what's the balance? How much should I receive from this customer? I should receive the balance, which is the difference between debit and credit. The balance will be in the greater side. So 66 minus 5, it's going to be 61. Okay. So now, I received the payment from the customer. So my cash will go up in the debit side. Okay. And I received what was on account. So accounts receivable will decrease in the credit side. Now we know the balance of the accounts receivable, it's 61. Now will I receive the full amount or the customer paid within the discount period so he will get a discount? Let's see. On August 1, Paul sold the goods to the customer. On August 10, he received the payment. يعني after 9 days. 10 minus 1, it's 9 days. Now let's go back to the credit terms and check. It was 2% within 10 days. So he paid within the discount period because he paid within 9 days, which is less than the 10 days. So it is within the discount period. So the customer will get a discount, okay, of 2%, which is here. Now 2% of the 61,000 will be the sales discount amount, which is a contra revenue account, because when the customer gets a discount, it's not a revenue to you as a seller, it's a contra revenue, okay? So it will be in the debit side. It decreases your equity. Okay, so now sales discount, it's the contra revenue account. It's 2% of the balance. 2% of the 61,000, it's 1,220. Now how much cash I'm gonna receive? I'm gonna receive the net amount. So 61,000 minus 1,220, it's gonna be 59,780. So this is the amount of cash you're gonna receive if the customer paid within the discount period. Okay, now let's see what if the customer paid after the discount period, after day 10. Okay, so for example, if the customer paid on August 20, I sold the goods on August 1st, I received the payment on August 20, and after 19 days, and the discount period here, it's only 10 days. So if the customer paid after the discount period, he needs to pay the full amount. He needs to pay the 61,000. So for me, I'm gonna receive cash. I need to decrease the accounts receivable with the full amount. There is no discount here. ما راح يكون عندي sales discount. Okay. So when the seller give a discount to the customer, we record what? Sales discount and the debit side, because it's a contra revenue account. Okay. Now I have one more thing to say in the sales cycle transactions. When the seller pays for the transportation, we call it FOB destination. Yani the seller is responsible about the goods until it reaches the destination. So the seller will pay for the delivery. In this case, he's gonna debit delivery expense and credit cash. Okay, when it's FOB destination, the seller will pay for the delivery, so he's gonna record delivery expense and the debit, cash, and the credit side. So now we are done with the sales cycle transactions. I hope that you understand it. Thank you for watching. If you have any question, please leave a comment.